Hello, writers. Today, I want to teach you how about writing a proper paragraph. By the end of today, you will be able to use an anchor chart and this video to identify and explain how to properly write a paragraph. And you will also be able to write a proper paragraph in your own writing. So let's start by talking about what all paragraphs have. By fifth grade, all paragraphs have at least four complete sentences. They can have more than four, five, six, seven, but they should not have less. They are indented, and I'll show you what that means in a moment. And we do that by pressing the tab button just one time. And all sentences have a noun, which is a subject, our person, place, or thing, and a verb. All sentences begin with a capital letter, and all sentences end with punctuation marks, such as a question mark, period, or exclamation point. So, keeping that in mind, what all paragraphs have, here is a paragraph that is written and it has many errors. And together we're going to go through and we're going to correct them. So, the first thing you need to know is that a title, every word should be capitalized. Really, basically, the big words. So, the, types, and guitars. You can leave the G, the of lowercase. All sentences need to begin with a capital letter. See, it says right there, all sentences begin with a capital letter. So we're going to go over to here. This sentence does not start with a capital letter. There are different types of guitars. Change that to an uppercase letter. There are different types of guitars. That is at the end of a sentence. So we need to put a period there, our punctuation. Electric guitars can be plugged into an amplifier and can get very loud. End of sentence. New sentence. The word acoustic needs to be capitalized. Acoustic guitars, which are hollow, can be plugged in, but usually are not. Then look at this. Bass guitars is written like it's its own sentence. Well, that's certainly a subject, but there's no verb. So that period needs to come out because bass guitars can't be its own sentence on its own. And then we take this W in which and we make it lowercase. Bass guitars, which play very low notes, can either be electric or acoustic. There's actually a comma after guitars too, which we'll learn about. So it can be either electric or acoustic. Then that's the end of a sentence. We have a period, see right there. Then new sentence, what do we need? We need an uppercase letter for there are other types. See, that doesn't make sense either. There are other types. And then we start a sentence with of guitars too, such as resonator guitars and tenor guitars. We need to take out this period, and let's see how it reads now. There are other types of guitars too, such as resonator guitars and tenor guitars. Good. End of the sentence, we have a period. And then we begin with an uppercase letter. Most guitars have 6 strings, but some can have more or fewer strings. We're missing our punctuation there. I'm going to put an exclamation point. Now, let's read what it sounds like. The types of guitars. There are different types of guitars. Electric guitars can be plugged into an amplifier and can get very loud. Acoustic guitars, which are hollow, can be plugged in, but usually are not. Bass guitars, which play very low notes, can be either electric or acoustic. There are other types of guitars too, such as resonator guitars and tenor guitars. Most guitars have 6 strings, but some can have more or fewer strings. So let's use this checklist. Do we have at least 4 sentences? Let's see. There's one. Let's see. Electric guitars can be plugged into an amplifier and get very loud. That's 2. Acoustic guitars, which are hollow, can be plugged in, but usually are not. That's 3. Bass guitars, which play very low notes, can be either electric or acoustic. That's 4. There are other types of guitars too, such as resonator guitars and tenor guitars. That's 5. And then our last sentence is 6. So we have 6 sentences. So that's good. We've done that. Are indented. Oh, we didn't indent. So here's what indent looks like. We go to the very first letter of the paragraph and we push the tab button one time, and it creates this space at the beginning. That's how you indent. You don't push the space bar, you press the tab button one time. I'll go back and I'll show you. My cursor is here, and then I press the tab button, and tab is on the left side, right by the Q, the A, and the Z. It's right next to the Q. So now I've indented. Do all my sentences have a noun, which is a subject and a verb? I check that. Do they all begin with a capital letter? I check that. And do they all end with punctuation marks? I check that. So this is a properly written paragraph. So now here's what you are going to do. You are going to look at your own writing very closely. And you need to make sure that every paragraph and sentence matches the expectations or the rules listed below. That all paragraphs have at least 4 complete sentences. Your paragraph is indented, and we do that by pressing tab one time. And then we check that all sentences have a noun, which is a subject, and a verb. They begin with a capital letter, and they end with some type of punctuation mark, such as a question mark, a period, or an exclamation point. Go improve your writing, and I can't wait to see what you do.